All right, welcome to the second episode of Dated While Black and Lesbian presents interviews with Black professionals. Today we have Olivia Vandergep. She is an artist, and I just want to go over. I spoke to you briefly about your story and how I found it very interesting. So if you could share that story about what got you into art, that'd be dope.
All right. So I started painting in 2019. The reason being, I had a clothing line. Actually, I'm wearing a hat from it.
Nice.
It was called Queens, which means Queens and Kings, like QVINGS, and the V is for you, the wearer. So when I had that clothing line, it was great. However, I had some sort of heartbreak with it because I was not getting sales. I did not find a way to get the appropriate team, so I was doing everything on my own. And eventually it became too much to sustain, and it was more me putting into the brand rather than receiving back. Even though I was getting love on the internet, it wasn't materializing into sales or enough to stay in the business. So I decided to start painting, because with painting, all I can do is just create whenever I feel like it and post online, right? And only when somebody's interested and actually purchases something do I send it to the person. So now I don't have as much cost with that process, where with the clothing line, I had to pay beforehand. I had to, certain companies that I was using had a minimum order kind of situation. So I had to produce 30, 50 t-shirts and make sure to sell it all, right?
Right.
It wasn't getting there. So I will be left with a lot of inventory. So 2019, I started painting and I decided to revisit Africa.
Okay, good. All right. So, as we spoke before, we mentioned that most of your art comes from, basically how your Africa is presented here versus how it actually is. Can you discuss that a bit more as well?
All right. Well, I'm French, right?
But first, can I ask you what part of Africa you're from?
Yes. Okay. I am part of Cameroon. It's, some will say Central, some will say West Africa.
Okay.
Although, so I'm Cameroonian, right? French and Cameroonian. I was born in France, and I lived a little bit in Cameroon, and now I'm in the US. So, but all in all, I'm African. My origin's African, right? And every time whenever I was in Europe, now in America, I feel as though Africa is being portrayed as, poor and, no resources. I can't tell you how many times I've been asked if I studied outside with the lions. Got into a point where I was like, yeah, I have. We have a personal lion at home. His name is Buba. But I just thought that Africa is being misrepresented in the media. Of course, as in everywhere, poorer parts and wealthier parts. And I feel privileged to not be on the other side, right? I'm able to travel, I'm able to do certain things that other people in Africa cannot do, right? Mm-hmm. But I wanted to revisit the culture because I felt as though a lot of time we forget it. Even our parents, we would think that our parents would be the ones keeping that some sort of keepsake for it, but no. When I thought about piercings, there was a point in my life I had a septum piercing, and I remember hiding it from my parents for the longest. Really? I had to tuck it into my nose whenever I had to go home, right? Yeah. And one day I had forgot, and I saw my uncle, and my uncle was like, "You look like a goat."
Okay. To be fair, how old were you? Were you old enough to have a piercing?
I was 24.
All right.
Yeah, why do you have this? What does that mean? And at first I wanted to hide it again, and I did not know what to answer. Then I thought about it. I said, I'm pretty sure I've seen some tribes with some sort of, piercing, scarifications and all of that, right? Why am I being asked such a question?
Right.
And that's when I started looking into it, and I discovered those Ethiopian tribes where you have those gauges. I'm not if it's gauges or gauges. The ones when yes, right. So they have those in the ears and in the mouth, like they have those big plates that they install that actually represent wealth. They have scarification that represents belonging to a tribe, etc. And I wondered, why is it that we forgot that? We feel as though it comes from Occident, whereas it comes from Africa, from Asia, And I wanted to explore our culture, culture, and the different values that I've even seen, but for some reason forgot.
Yeah,
and that's how the project came about. I actually originally called it Mater Dei, which means from the mother, because Africa being the motherland, they're all wanted to explore it more.
Okay, awesome. Do you have a favorite piece or a favorite way of creating? Like, is it people that you like to create? Is it objects? Like, what's your favorite type of piece to create?
Okay, so my process, I love to represent people. I have to represent people. I mean, you have in the background right here some of my art. You see this, right? It's a lot of faces on there. Because it's all about the people, really. I'm trying to represent the culture, the couture, and all of that, but with the people in there. So my process usually goes by, thinking about, I remember walking to school, right?
Right.
Instead of taking a taxi, and I would see somebody in the street, on the street selling bananas, and I was hungry. And I went to them and I was like, I want some bananas, right? I would look for that image so that I can still have that visual representation of what I'm looking for, right? Sometimes I'm lucky and I find exactly what I'm looking for, for the posture of what I'm looking for. Sometimes I'm not, and I have to, make shift something. So I start with that. I start with a thought of what I want to do. That's what it is. And then once I have it, I either start with creating a pattern. By pattern, and the reason why I create patterns actually is because what I've noticed is that a lot of our fabrics are not created by Africans. They're created by Europeans, and I thought, why? Africa by Africa, right? So Africa by Africans, and I decided that I wanted to change that. So you'll see certain painting with like a background, which is a pattern that I created that you can have on clothing. Actually, let me see. I don't know how to flip. Oh, actually, here. Yeah, you see that on the painting, you have it on a pillow. Right. I can make it into different things like clothing, etc. Right, bringing in back my background as a clothing designer, and after that, I add the people, the mood that I want to set, and really that's it. I don't have any specific way of creating. All it is that I create from my iPad because I like to move around. As you can notice, I'm probably moving around as you're talking. So with that said, I can have a canvas really, because I will be all over the place.
Got it. Okay. So my next question is, for myself as well, like for someone who didn't like their whole I guess profession isn't around necessarily what you enjoy. I'm not gonna say you don't enjoy doing with your day job, but two different. Sometimes people feel like I can't do this because this is what my job is. This is what I went to school for. This is this. How do you what would be some advice for someone who has a job that doesn't necessarily correlate with their I'm saying passion? Okay, passion.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Okay. So the way I see it is, you only have one life to live, right? You don't want to leave this world with regrets.
Right.
So I said, just do it. I like the Nike logo, the Nike. Just do it. When I had an idea of starting a business, I just did it. 2014 when I started the clothing line, at that point, my parents were like, "Oh, you're gonna pay for your school by yourself." So I said, "Okay, I need to make money in this country," and I was a national student, right? And I wasn't able to work really for a company, so I decided to work for myself, creating something.
Yep.
I went and looked online. How do you start a business? How do you start a clothing line? And I just did it. You will never know until you start. I will say that, if you feel as though you cannot sustain your daily life with just your passion, you can still work and do your passion at night or, whenever. But really, when you have a passion and you do it, you're not working, because you're putting time into something that you enjoy, right?
Exactly.
It shouldn't feel like strenuous. It shouldn't feel like work. Whenever I don't feel like painting, maybe I'm going through something in my, day-to-day life, I don't paint.
Yeah.
And eventually I come back.
Right.
It's always going to be there.
Yep. Good. Yep. Good. So this is just a random question, okay?
Mm-hmm.
If someone buys your art, where are they put it in their house and why?
It's all about a feeling,
Okay.
It's all about a feeling. I don't mind if somebody even puts it in the toilet. Or everywhere, really. I actually have a painting right now in the bathroom. I have a painting in the kitchen. It's however you feel. I think what's great about my art is it's somehow shines by itself. It doesn't matter where you place it.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Let's see what else. Okay, so what keeps you motivated? So especially from like when things aren't going like the way, I think ideally we want things to go, we want to create something and we want it to just take off. When things aren't going that well, what keeps you motivated to keep going? Like what's like keeps you like, it's all right. I just gotta strategize.
A lot of time it's myself. At this point, I decided that I was gonna create regardless, whether I get sales or not. I'm creating because it just makes me happy. And also, what happens is that when I don't create, I get to maybe if I'm going to a phase, I'm maybe depressed or whatnot. Because mental health is also very important, right? I take time to myself, and what I notice is that people ask for it. People are like, "What's your next art? What are you gonna do next? What's gonna be your next project?"
Right.
And it might not be a lot of people, but those few people, like, it really touches my heart, and it becomes also creating for them.
Yeah. Okay, so I have 3 final questions. These are, I didn't warn you about these questions, but this is just everything together. So my first question is, what is your sign?
Leo.
Okay.
I heard there's a difference between a July and an August Leo. I'm an August Leo.
Yeah.
Can you tell or not?
I can't tell the difference. I feel like all Leos are the same in my mind.
Really?
Yeah. When's your birthday exactly?
August 2nd.
The 2nd. Okay. All right. My next question.
What's your sign?
I'm a Virgo. You could have been a great one. You a couple more weeks. You could. I'm an August Virgo. Yeah. Okay. So my next question is, what is something that someone can do for themselves that can also benefit other people? Like, I feel like definitely with art, like you probably do that for yourself, but I'm sure it definitely benefits other people based on how they feel, their visual stimulation and stuff like that. But aside from art, what is something that someone can do for themselves that would benefit others?
From art.
Aside from art.
Aside from art.
Aside from art.
Ooh, loving themselves.
Loving themselves.
Loving themselves. Because if you learn to love yourself, you can teach someone else, because you can come to meet somebody that way you feel as though maybe that's where you were before, and, give them some tips. Yeah.
All right, so next question. True. All right, so my next question, you can answer it or not answer it. I can reword it. It's up to you, but it's always just ties everything together at the end, and it is, what's your relationship status? So, It's up to you. I can reword it and change it up. It's up to you though.
Very much taken. Very,
Okay.
very beautiful woman. Yeah.
Okay. All right. All right. I 100% enjoyed this interview, actually.
Me
I
too.
appreciate you for taking the time to talk to me
Mhm.
early. It's fairly early. All right. Do you have anything you want to share where people find you, find your art?
You can find me anywhere, Loudpreneur. As long as you type Loudpreneur, you'll find me.
I will type it, yeah.
Yes. The artist entrepreneur. That's what it means. And I can't wait to see your beautiful faces. Me up. I always answer.
Okay. Awesome. Again, thank you so much. And I hope you have a great remainder of your day.
Thank you. Thank you.
Wait,
You too.